cheese with it?
Yeah.
Nice. So these are Red Lobster style cheese biscuits.
That's right.
How long do they take to cook?
14 to 16 minutes.
That's nothing. So we're about to eat for sure. That's about how long it takes the garlic for the Allison to form if you crush it. About 15 minutes. So it's perfect. Perfect. So you always want to crush the garlic before you eat it. That releases the Allison. You need to do it about 15 minutes before you consume it. So while Chris is cooking, I'm going to crush the garlic that we're going to eat. And it's going to be a lot longer than 15 minutes that it sits. So it's going to have a lot of Allison. That's a huge piece. God, I pity whoever has to eat that. Or maybe we could share that piece. I don't know. I'll just crush these two pieces. I crush them with my bare hands. And I usually don't do it with my fingers, but I'm about to do it with my fingers. Oh man. Put it on the table. Apply some pressure. Sometimes I have to use the palm of my hand. And push down. Crush it. Crush the garlic. Come on, Mr. Garlic. Why must it be so hard? But yeah, I'm going to crush this garlic. And then we're going to saute our candy rams. I can't do it with one hand. Chris is putting the melted butter with herbs on top of the Red Lobster biscuits. I think it comes with it. The herbs do it and you just mix it with butter. This is the biscuits. We're about to have a garlic party now. Biscuits and what is it, Chris, sandwiches?
I don't remember.
We're gonna eat that too. God damn it. Sorry, Chris. Little technical difficulty. Is that exciting? Fell. I hope that y'all enjoyed that. We are happy to see you here at Garlic Party. I hope that you're enjoying your evening. And furthermore, we hope that you have some garlic with us. Ashley Bussey told us that we should talk about garlic a little more and eat some garlic. Since the last episode, we didn't even eat any garlic. But this episode, talking about some garlic right now. We're about to eat a huge clove. It's sat for probably 20 or 30 minutes, so it's got a lot of Allison. And me and Chris are going to share these two delectable pieces.
Got this root beer. Got this root beer at Sprouts. Want to shout Sprouts out because they've got all the good alternative brand. They're supporting the alternative. I even get my soap from Sprouts. Bee and honey, sandalwood, and it's awesome.
So we're having these cheddar biscuits, Red Lobster cheddar biscuits. You can buy them at the store. Mix them with cheese, and then they have this herb stuff, herb packet that you mix with butter, melted butter. And what are these? Sandwiches?
Croissantwiches.
Nice.
I'm gonna put these are Jimmy Dean croissant rolls, egg, cheese, and sausage. I'm putting sriracha on mine. We love sriracha sauce. Got a bottle right here.
Yeah, every day I'm hustling. I just thought that you should do one of these biscuits.
Hustling and bustling. Some of the biscuits.
That's so good.
Interesting fact about garlic. Allison, the potent ingredient in it, is an essential antibacterial. It's so essentially antibacterial that even bacteria that can evolve to overcome antibiotics cannot by nature overcome the ingredient allicin in garlic.
Yeah. You can kill colds and viruses.
Mm-hmm. Even gonorrhea.
Even gonorrhea. And the thing is, not only does it directly kill bacteria and viruses, but it also makes your immune system create more fighter cells. So, it boosts your immunity too. About to have some garlic right now.
Cheers.
What are we talking about?
Been a while, garlic. Really good with the biscuits.
Yeah, that was perfect. So, we want to start doing a Facebook post discussion on garlic parties. So, today we're going to talk about one of Jessica's posts. We're going to show it in a little bit. And we're going to discuss it. So maybe we'll do one of yours. You simply pick what post you want us to talk about. And we talk about, it can be silly, it could be political, it could be spiritual, religious, inconsequential, it could be about your food, it could be whatever, it doesn't matter. But you pick it. We don't pick it because we want to talk about what you think is important or unimportant. Or even that's some delicious garlic. How's that rooted beer?
It's good.
What does it have upon it? Think it has any sassafras in it? You do?
I don't know.
It might.
Natural flavors, that's probably what it would be.
Very fine. Garlic is really good with bread. Just eating raw garlic and bread. If you're not wanting to take in all the heat, not eating it by itself, just eat it with bread. It still will give you some of its insides. Oh yes.
So, the other night, Clint and I were hanging out late night, and Clint was looking up how to bend a spoon with your mind. And I had the idea that we should try it. And because we're both very open-minded and believe we can do stuff like that, we tried to do it. And we actually saw the spoon bend. We both saw it, and we saw it about 3 times. It was kind of paranormal and scary too. But we actually saw it.
Yeah, we actually saw it. We saw it bend. Kind of like if you ever did acid or mushrooms. But we can't say whether it really bent, but we saw it bend.
We saw it move. And it was our first time.
it's hard to trot. Sorry. Yeah, we're told that things are solid, but we're not really told that. Actually, science tells us things are not solid, but we grow up believing that they're solid. And even though we know it's all energy, we keep forgetting that. So, atoms make up everything, and they're all the same essential building blocks. So, atoms make up, our bodies. They also make up spoons, metal, and everything else.
Right.
So we're made out of the same stuff as a spoon is made out of. You can essentially say we are spoons. We are this desk. We are the camera taking this picture. So then why can't we bend the spoon with our mind, right? And what is thought? Is it really relegated just to your brain? Maybe thought exists outside of us, and this only picks up the thought. We don't really know. We don't know enough about the brain to say that for sure. This thought arises in the brain or somewhere else. This is good. I must say, after eating the biscuit, especially with the garlic, your sandwiches are good, but not near as good. Power of winking. You ever thought about all the thing a wink can convey? A wink could be sexual. Saying you want to do dirty things. Secret things people aren't supposed to know. A wink could be sinister. Threatening. It could be like, hey, we're on something nobody else knows about, inside information. A wink can be endearing, conveying love, even parental love. So with a wink, you have to fill in the blanks of what is being conveyed. There's no words. You kind of have to know what the wink means. So it could be considered a spiritual form of communication. That takes intuition to understand. Could you be winking about something that really nobody knows about except the person being winked to? Maybe you don't even know why you winked, and they know why you winked. You can really convey. You can convey spiritual information. A wink.
You can really convey anything with a wink.
Yeah.
And sometimes it literally could mean anything, and that's the way we like to wink.
Yeah. I have no idea what the wink really meant. But we hope that you do.
Also on today's garlic party, we were going to talk about how to love someone you don't agree with. How to hear someone's political expression that can be counter to yours without trying to correct it, because that's something that is hard to do, but kind of necessary for political discourse. If you use Facebook, you've probably seen how easily people can get offended and what started out as like a meaningful political point being made can turn into a flame war. And I think Clint may have some insight on how to listen without getting offended or trying to make your own point.
First of all, when you post something, don't post like this. Why does it have to be a punch? Why does it have to be an insult? Can't you make a point without insulting somebody? For instance, you could say Donald Trump is an idiot, right? Or you could say, I don't agree with his policies on holding refugees, and here's why. Conversely, if you're responding to somebody saying a political idea you have is moronic or like a Nazi
Hey, Chris,
idea.
can your mom have another biscuit?
Yeah, you can have all of them.
You don't have to take it. You could be offended because it was offensive to say that, right? But why not instead either explain your point of view or decide that's not worth your time if somebody's going to be offensive? Or, how about this? Why not allow somebody to expand upon their view, to tell you something they believe that may be hard for them to say because they know you have diametrically opposed ideas? And just allow it to be. They shared their thought. And convey how much love you have for them. And, without being condescending or reactive. Because we don't always have to say what we think. Now, I'm not talking about being a coward and not speaking your mind when you think something needs to be said. But why does it always have to be an argument? Because the more comfortable a person is talking to you, the more you get insight into why they think the way they think. And the more you understand somebody, the more they can be reached. And who knows, maybe they have some valid points that you can listen to. Maybe if you weren't always trying to defend your particular viewpoint, you might hear some new things, have some new thoughts.
I think that you should make your point, and as soon as people start to get offended or it starts to become a fight or something like that, maybe you should unplug your computer and throw it against the wall.
Yes.
And that way, what can happen?
Nothing.
If men are concerned about being falsely accused of sexual assault, maybe they should just stay home and not put themselves in dangerous situations where they could be vulnerable. These things wouldn't happen if they didn't drink, go out to bars, or walk alone at night where women might mistakenly think they're predators. They might also want to dress more conservatively so that they don't appear threatening to women. This is a quote from a post on Facebook showing how what is actually realistic advice to women that are afraid of being assaulted applies also to men, showing that how ridiculous it is. And what I think is ridiculous is that Donald Trump, our president, said that when asked about how young men, what he thought about young men in America right now are going through, he said that it's a scary time for young men when they can be guilty of something they might not be guilty of, which implies that he thinks that Judge Kavanaugh is innocent, which hasn't been proven, and he seems pretty guilty. If you think about it, if you imagine that he is guilty when he was being interviewed by the Supreme Court, it makes a lot of sense that he would avoid the question, trying to get around it and throw things around, make it seem like he was being falsely accused. And I think it's just terrible because people that have been sexually assaulted, it's like their plight, their point, their problem is being sidelined, and now it's about the people that are being falsely accused. Oh my gosh, like completely turning the situation around, ignoring the problem. And they don't even mention, Trump doesn't even mention people who have been sexually assaulted as if it's not a legitimate problem. And Judge Kavanaugh is probably going to be elected to the Supreme Court like nothing ever happened. And I think that's totally a problem.
You gonna eat that whole piece there?
No.
You want half of it?
You can have it.
Oh, I don't want the whole thing.
You want half of it?
Maybe. More garlic right here.
Roasted garlic is really good.
But this is not roasted. This is raw.
We didn't have time to roast it. But next time.
Oh, yeah. You gonna eat your Sandy watch?
I'm not that hungry. You can have it if you want.
No,
It's got sriracha on it.
I don't want that much. Breading.
Might have to save it. Oh.
So we're about to talk about Jessica's post here in a minute. You never know when we might talk about Jessica's post.
So this
Whoa.
post was a meme about Donald Trump dressed up in robes, almost like a...
I'll throw it to you. You know what I'm saying? Am I getting it, Chris?
Don't feed the poor. Don't shelter the homeless. Double the military. Mary Magdalene's a 10. He's the savior we've been waiting for.
Get it?
I've been noticing pretty much ever since Trump was elected president that people are just like...
Oh, shit. You might want to re-say that. Give me a sec. Alright.
And this post is relevant because ever since Donald Trump was elected president, people have just been loving him and putting him on a pedestal as if he was some kind of saint, despite all the terrible things that he gets away with, as if he were thinking that the presidency was a reality TV television program. Mocking disabled people. Apparently he was mocking Blasey Ford's testimony or something like that, which is terrible. I mean, it's just, he's definitely not a savior.
Oh.
He hasn't done anything that's savior-like.
Wouldn't it be nice if people did actually were more concerned with saving, feeding the poor, sheltering the homeless, stuff like that, than they were about Ferraris and huge houses and being successful and being looked up to because they were successful.
Maybe that would put things in perspective, get us in our right mind.
So much of the things people do is based on what they were kind of raised to believe were important values. Like, a lot of people want to have a nice house and stuff like that just because they were raised with a nice house and they're worried about what their friends and their peers will think. If they don't have a big house, nice job, nice car, even the kind of clothes they wear, they got to be a certain brand of clothes. And that is the type of reasoning that spawns the admiration for a figure like Donald Trump, who has a huge tower, who's a successful businessman. But are those good values? Is it good for somebody to have so much power and money that they can work people for very little money and think it's okay to do that? Essentially have slaves. Is it a good thing? And that's kind of what people aspire to be. That's what people consider being ultra successful.
And I think that he has so much money that he thinks he can do whatever he wants, and I think that's, I can't even imagine the situation, the moment that he decided that he could run for president. And the fact that he is the president now is just like kind of disturbing, because I think it means that there's something wrong with the system.
Certainly something wrong with the system, which starts with having values that are not in line with peace. And it starts with us. Do we want to feed the homeless? Do we want to do our part? Do we want to whatever? Oh, and then there's the confusing part of, the Republican, some of the big one, double the military, that's a big thing in the Republican Party, is stronger military, less taxes for the rich, they don't like welfare, things like that. And I understand their reasons for that. I know I know their arguments for that, I should say. I don't really necessarily agree with it, but they consider themselves more of the Christian conservative kind of party, and those things have nothing to do with what Christ taught, because Christ fed the poor.
Welcome the stranger.
Right, and he didn't, really encourage violence or the military. In fact, when he was being taken away to be crucified, or Peter, one of the 12 apostles, cut off one of the soldiers' ear that was trying to reprimand or get Jesus. And Jesus picked up his ear, according to the story, and healed the guy's ear, put it back on his head, and told Peter, return your sword to its place, for he who lives by the sword will die by the sword. And then, of course, as you well know, he was killed rather than fighting back. So, what does that got to do with doubling the military? It's bizarre. It's bizarre. I mean, so, is it Christian values that run that party? Or is it what they call Christian values? Is it, I mean, what is that, what is the religion that is actually believed? Is it some sort of just Southern value system that they call Christianity that has nothing to do with it? I really don't understand it. I feel like garlic.
Garlic party.
Number 6.
¡Epa! ¡Mañana! ¡Dele! Chamaquito ve, que yo quiero saber dónde usted...
Last night I dreamed of you. I like to be your lady, baby.